Hey guys, Time Itself here. More gameplay with the M60 for you. I have really grown to like this gun. There is something just amazing about being able to hold down the trigger and mow people down. And the slower fire rate, well, it means you get to hold down the trigger longer before you have to reload, so... And also the devastating two-hit kill up close is a lot of fun and must be respected. And yes, the title is correct. I do earn 2 MOABs with this gun in this game. Kind of ridiculous, and I just have to laugh. You can shoot through this pretty easily, and I have recon so I can mark them, but I don't have scavenger or sleight of hand yet, so it did seem to be quite worth it. Now, I know a lot of people are going to take issue with how I get this double MOAB. It might be described as campy, but I ask you, in all seriousness, what are the LMGs supposed to be used for? I think posting up in front of a choke point and mowing a lot of people down, 24 go, that seems like what an LMG is made for, and so I am putting this gun to its intended use this game. And you can blame the poor noobs who we were playing against for running through the door over and over again, and for not doing anything to really slow me down. Although one of them does figure it out partway through and starts getting a flashbang in a fairly good place that really does hinder my ability to keep mowing them down as they run through the door. So, before I get started on my first MOAB life, let me say that I fully understand that this video, this gameplay, this double MOAB isn't up to YouTube standards. Now that's because YouTube's video standards tend to be about running around and making as many blatant errors as possible and still coming out okay. Now, granted, that's a fairly impressive feat of skill. At the same time, I watch people run around and push spawns on Domination and go, I hope your team agreed that that's what they were going to do, because I know that my team would be rather unhappy with me if I ran into the enemy spawn all the time, trying to pick up as many kills as fast as possible for myself. It'd be kind of greedy, honestly. Now, I think I've said this before, but I don't do anything special when I'm recording. In fact, I'm always recording, and I don't particularly play for gameplays. If I get something interesting, something special, I think we can say a double MOAB is kind of special, then I'll go ahead and post it, comment over it, say something interesting. But it means I also don't ask my friends to do anything special in the games. I mean, we might do something for fun, but it's for our own amusement in that game. I'm not going to do something just for the sake of YouTube video unless I know it's going to be fun in-game while we're doing it as a team. But let's get back to these standards of good. You're looking at YouTube, especially Domination, it's just about the number of kills and the overall KD. When instead, when I play a game of Domination, I'm looking for the number of points the enemy team gets and the number of caps that your team has to have. Caps being bad, caps dangerous. If you had to cap points, that was not a good thing. And so, if you spawn trap them, lock them into a tiny area, and get as many kills as possible, and still win, that's great. However, letting them out, well, let's just say that that's less reliable, and unless my team specifically agrees to what we're doing before, I don't really want to be a part of that, and then I hope the enemies are especially bad for those games. Now, I say that, but the Call of Duty Elite challenges, the competitions, are for total numbers of caps and defends in a game, more being better, and yet here I am telling you that you had a more convincing win the fewer total caps and defends you had, unless you were just absolutely running the enemy team around the map, which, okay, you can do a lot of the time, but unless you have a especially stacked team, which you don't always have, isn't really a reliable thing to win. And, so that's playing to win. Why is Elite saying, here, you should go have this alternate objective that really isn't entirely related to winning? Alright, I'm about to get my first MOAB. I don't call it in for quite a while, because I don't want to deal with all the different color schemes on... it looks nasty, and it makes it harder to get things done, so I put it off. There are the flashbangs. This guy actually knows what he's doing, and they spawn out at A, because their green arrows are pushing in. Now, why does Elite do that? Why do YouTube expect that? Well, for one, it's fast-paced, it's kind of fun to watch, and okay, it does make for a good challenge, I'll give them that. However, what it means is that the game is more about racking up XP and progressing in levels and unlocks than it is about playing against other people and having a good challenge. And that has been a constant issue I've had with Call of Duty since the first time I started playing with, is that it's more about just playing the game and getting XP, levels or XP levels and not skill levels than it is about playing against other people who are going to give you a good game, who are around your skill level. I came from Halo, and the games I played before Halo, playing against people at your own skill level was the standard that you looked for a good game. And now, racking up 2 24 kill streaks, staring at a door, maybe not the best part, but that constitutes a good game. And it doesn't matter how terrible the people we're playing against are, it's just the fact that it got done, and it doesn't matter how bad these players are. Look, they just keep running through the door. Hey, you think the guy with the M60 is still there? Let's double check. He might have gotten tired and left by now. So I have to say that my interest in the Call of Duty series is slowly waning. Now, like all games, as you get better and better, you really get a feel for game mechanics and how deep the game is. And Call of Duty, well, there is some depth there, but it's hard to find it when you're always playing against people who are much worse than you. But at the same time, that's what the game throws you, and playing against people who are terrible, that's what YouTube expects, and it seems to be what the devs expect. Is if you're good, you're going to play against terrible people and will rack up lots of kills. Now, I'm not saying that the focus on making the games accessible to casual players is an issue. What I'm trying to get at is that as you get better, you figure out where the camping spots are, what the spawn traps are, and you can use them. And the people who are worse, well, they just get obliterated. They have no clue what's going on, and that's probably no fun for them either. But unless you're playing against other people who have a similar skill level and level of knowledge about the game, the depth might as well not be there. Just run around and kill people, it doesn't matter. So a part of this comes down to the game being at least reasonably fun to play at a somewhat competitive level. That makes sense, right? As you get better at the game, you hope to find more and more there in the game to keep you coming back to play more. A deeper gameplay experience makes you want to play more, but then you go, this game only lasts about a year apiece before everyone moves on to the next one, so why would they do that? The other thing is that while they are iterating on a formula, they aren't headed to a deeper gameplay experience. It's just more complicated most of the time. And the big example I'm going to give is the late game EMP spam, which is absolutely ridiculous in a game of Domination. The fact that we can shut down an enemy's team's radar and air support for, 2/3 of the game in a game of Domination is kind of ridiculous and seems to be a real gameplay oversight to me. In fact, I think you could put a lot of the items in the support strike package as being rather questionable, especially with having to keep the same class. If you want to keep the points you've been working on towards getting your next point streak rewards, that doesn't seem right, but that's a commentary for another day. So for the next Call of Duty, well, I kind of hate to say it, and it would be a serious change for the series, a little less farming noobs for XP and a little more quality gameplay experience, I think would go a long way to revitalizing the series. The two big things I'm going to be looking for are features intended to appeal to the competitive community and skill-based matchmaking, because let's face it, when was this matchmaking system ever considered anything more than the bare minimum?
Oh my god! That's just evil, man.
That's dirty.
Hey, Angry Spanish Guy does a series called MOAB for Dummies about getting the easiest MOAB possible in free-for-all. What if we called this Double MOAB for Dummies in Domination? I don't think I can make a series out of it. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.
God, you are...